I believe it's time. Welcome, everybody, to the PMFF SeaSerpent. So here we're going to have Bounding Main and Jerry Bryant. Bounding Main, well, you'll hear them for yourself now, but they're a mainstay of our maritime music circuit. So take it away.
Ahoy, mates! We're Bounding Main, and we are so excited to be here with everyone, wherever you're joining in, and just delighted to be able to share a stage with Jerry Bryant. So off we go.
1, 2, 3. Dun, 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 dun.
So we thought we'd open up with a traditional piece called Dogger Bank.
Dun, 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 dun. Are you done? Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, I'm done.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sailing over the Dogger Bank, now wasn't it a treat? The wind was blowing east northeast, we had to give her sheet. You should have seen us rally, the wind blowing free on the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby. So watch her, twig her, she's a proper Juby. Give her sheet, let her rip with a voice to pull her through. You should have seen us rally, the wind blowing free on the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby. Our captain, he's a shangaroo, she likes a drop of wine. The second mate's a brimstone pig and been seen in many a jail. The third mate, he's a bushman, the worst of all the crew. A Liverpool Irish blacker and a son of a buffer.
It's true. So watch her, twig her, she's a bumper Juby Jew. Give her sheet, let her rip with the boys to pull her through. You should have seen us rally, the wind blowing free on the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby.
So watch her, twig her, the powerful way she runs. With high heels and painted toes, she is on the go. She is one of them flash girls, ain't she cut to shine? You can do the double shuffle on the knickerbocker.
So watch her, twig her, she's a proper Juby Jew. Oh, give her sheet, let her rip with the boys to pull her through. You should have seen us rally, the wind blowing free on the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby.
Now we're the boys who make some noise when we come home to the sea. We get right drunk and full of air and lots of jubilee. We roll the town from pub to pub, we stagger from door to door. And when our money is all spent,
We'll go to see what's more. So watch her, twig her, she's a proper Juby Jew. Oh, give her sheet, let her rip with the boys to pull her through. You should have seen us rally, the wind blowing free on the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby.
so watch her,
Twig her, she's a proper Juby Jew.
Woo!
Give her sheet, let her rip with the boys to pull her through.
No, we practiced.
You should have seen us rally, the wind blowing free on the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby. On the passage from the Dogger Bank to Great Grimsby. Ho!
Excellent. Thank you, Bounding Main. That was delightful. Now we have Jerry Bryant originally from Maine and now Western Massachusetts, who's got a wealth of great songs, original and traditional. What have you got for us now?
Well, I knew I couldn't compete with harmony and theatrics, and I didn't even think about bowling shirts. So all I can do is some traditional shanties that are great to sing along to. I hope you'll all do that. This first one is kind of an outward bounder. It's what they were singing as they headed out from England down to the west coast of Chile, which in the late 1800s was a very important trade for nitrates to make commercial fertilizer. That's when they discovered people discovered that, we don't have to just put manure on the fields, we can actually make fertilizer. And guano, hundreds of feet deep of guano on the islands off of Chile and Peru were the perfect source of nitrogen and the nitrates. And so there's a body of shanties from that trade. This is one of the best, I think. It's got some real guts to it. It's called the Saltpeter Shanty. To old Callio we're bound, we'll roll. To old Callio we are bound away, roll. We're bound away at the break of the day, so the flash gals of Chile can grab all our pay. Oh, roll, rock ya bars, heave her high, oh, rocker, oh, roll. Them flash gals of Chile, they're so hard to beat. Oh, roll. Yes, them flash gals of Chile, they're so hard to beat. Oh, roll. Oh, they'll love us and kiss us and treat us to wine, but the bastards are robbing us most of the time. Oh, roll, rock ya bars, heave a high, oh, rocker, oh, roll. Oh, Pedro, the crimp boys, we know him of old. Oh, roll. Oh, Pedro, the crimp boys, we know him of old. Oh, roll. Oh, he's priming the vino and doping the beer. Here to the chinchas he'll ship us if we don't steer clear. Oh, roll, rock ya bars, heave a high, oh, rocker, oh, roll. So keep sharp lookout and a keen weather eye, oh, roll. Yes, keep sharp lookout and a keen weather eye, oh, roll. For them gals from Coquimbo and old Colonel, them red-hot senoritas from the far side of hell. Oh, roll, rock ya bars, heave her high, oh, rocker, oh, roll, roll, rock ya bars, heave her high, oh, rocker, oh, roll.
Wonderful, Jerry.
Thank you.
That's great. I should take a moment to mention, as we've just seen in the chat, well, this is a free festival. We have some expenses. Almost all of our money goes to paying our performers. And if you'd like to make a contribution, the link is in the chat. And Bounding Maine, back to you.
So if we were doing this show live and in person in front of you all, we would of course include amazing jokes. So not to deprive you all, we thought we would share a joke with you now. Why did the pirate grab a bar of soap when his ship began to sink?
Why did the pirate grab a bar of soap as his ship began to sink?
Because he wanted to wash himself ashore. Yeah. I'm gonna play I'm gonna take the place of the audience and go. Dean, save us.
This next song shows that the maritime music tradition continues up until the present day. The song is written by Barry Skipsey, and we first heard it from the Buccaneers at the Chicago Maritime Festival.
As I was a-fishing up in the Gulf, out on the open sea, I think of those pretty girls back on shore and wish that they were out here with me. So step on board the ocean liner, step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer, and together we'll sail away. Well, I made up me mind to follow the waves, hearing of good returns. And the very next morning I found myself prawning on me stomach it began to churn. So step on board the ocean liner. Step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer. Hand together we'll sail away. Working 20 bloody 4 hours a day, with the eyes hanging out of me head. 24 hours barely making a wage, and wish that I was bloody well dead. So step on board the ocean liner. Step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer. And together we'll sail away. Well, I'm a long way from mother up here in the Gulf, a long way from family, and I'm a bloody long way from being a sailor like me mother also wanted me to be. So step on board the ocean liner. Step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer, and together we'll sail away. Well, the captain's a big man, he stands so high, his head's nearly touching the rigging. And the crew, they're all druggos, and they're so high, I think they've left the land of the living. So step on board the ocean liner. Step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer, and together we'll sail away. Well, we're catching and shelling and sorting prawns till they bloody well come out of our ears. And the cook gives me chills in more ways than one, and I think I'm on my very last run. So step on board the ocean liner. Step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer, and together we'll sail away. Step on board the ocean liner. Step on board without delay, me lads. Step on board, there's nothing finer, and together we'll sail away. And together we will sail away.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bounding Maine. And now back to Jerry. Nice hat, by the way. What have you got for us this time, and what will you be playing, if anything?
Well, in honor of the acapella-ness of Bounding Maine, I thought, instruments aren't really necessary in this set, so I'm going to stick with acapella-ness, and that was an inspirational song, not a traditional song by any means. And it made me think of kind of a similar vibe to this parody that it was kind of inevitable that I had to write it. One of my loves is early American jazz music, and that's what I grew up listening to. My folks had all the records of, Dixieland jazz and swing band music and stuff like that. And so a lot of that music seeped into me. And when I got into shanties, at one point, this just bubbled up, and it was like, oh my gosh, of course I have to write this parody. And so I'll put this out there for all of us who are into singing shanties and who might remember some of those American songbook songs. It's only a shanty from old shanty town. Sing away, you Sandy, and blow the man down. Where Haul-away Joe comes down to high-low, and Storm along's drinking with Reuben Ranzo. Shallow Brown, Heelan Laddie, and Jackson cahoots, and so we will pay Paddy Doyle for his boots, and with Boney we'll roll that old wood pile on down to a shanty from old Shanty Town.
Lovely, Jerry.
Silliness, yes.
Indeed.
That was great.
In Bounding Maine, at some point, do you want to say a couple words about how you wound up doing this music in Wisconsin?
We all came together out of environmental theater and thought it was a good idea to sing sea shanties. And
no one told us not to.
and so we
That explains it.
we come from a love of music in general, and all of us have done various musical projects, and doing shanty music or maritime music was a good meeting of the middle for us, and we've been able to enjoy doing it all across North America and Europe. So it's a great 18 years we've sung together so far.
Pushing for 19. We'll see how it goes.
Indeed.
All right, David.
So a lot of the songs we sing are kind of bouncy, silly versions of things. This one's a little more straightforward version of a song as far as we tend to do things. But it's an old traditional song, Away Raya. So please do sing along if you're familiar.
Do that second one. That first one was bad. That one.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea. Away, Raya. I'll sing it to you if you'll sing it with me. And we're bound for the Rio Grande, and it's away, Rio. Away, Rio. Sing fairly well, my pretty young girl, and we're bound for the Rio Grande.
The chains up and down the ocean did say,
Away, Rio.
heave up the hosepipe, the anchor's away.
And we're bound for the Rio Grande, and it's away, Rio. Away, Rio. Sing fairly well, my pretty young girl, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. Ooh.
The anchor is weighed and the sails they are set.
Away, Rio.
The girls that we're leaving will never forget.
And we're bound for the Rio Grande, and it's away, Rio. Away, Rio. Sing fairly well, my pretty young girl, and we're bound for the Rio Grande.
Oh, well, very well, all ye ladies of town.
Away, Rio.
We've left you enough for to buy a silk gown.
And we're bound for the Rio Grande, and it's away, away, Rio. Away, away, Rio. Sing fairly well, my pretty young girl, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. Ooh.
Heave with a will, boys, heave long and heave strong.
Away, Rio.
Sing a good chorus, for it is a good song.
And we're bound for the Rio Grande, and it's away, away, Rio. Away, away, Rio. Sing very well, my pretty young girl, and we're bound for the Rio Grande.
to Ellen and Molly and Sue. Away, Rio. Those that are listening, it's goodbye you. And we're bound for the Rio Grande. And it's away, away, Rio. Away, 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 Rio. Say very well, my pretty young girl. And we're bound for the Rio Grande. And it's away, away, Rio. Away, away, Rio. Say very well, my pretty young girl. And we're bound for the Rio Grande. Sing very well, my pretty young girl. And we're bound for the Rio Grande. Oh, we're bound for the Rio Grande.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Jerry, do you want to say any words about your background before your next song?
Oh, sure. It probably wouldn't have been a bad thing if somebody had told me don't sing shanties. It's taken me down a deep rabbit hole, but it's all been good. The real origins of my love of shanties had to do when I was busking in Faneuil Hall Marketplace in Boston in the 1970s, and it was too cold one October afternoon to play those Simon and Garfunkel songs and James Taylor songs on the guitar. And it's like, what am I gonna do? I got an hour left in my set here, and so I thought of all the shanties I had learned in high school and middle school chorus, because you didn't need to play the guitar to sing those. And it turns out people paid me a lot more money when I sang those songs than Sound of Silence and things like that. So it's like, ever with a mercantile eye, I thought I might have been onto something, and so that led me to where I am today.
So you're only in it for the money?
I'm only in it for the money. Makes you wonder why I'm here today, but the truth is, once you understand what shanties were and why they were created, they were tools that sailors used only on board ship. They were never sung for pleasure. They were never sung on land by sailors. And yet, they are these gorgeous little musical artifacts. And that is one of the most exciting and compelling things about singing sea songs and shanties, is that in the roughest conditions and by the most uneducated of people creating them come these gorgeous musical moments. And so that's one of the reasons I really love shanties. And there's also, because the songs are about drinking and about women and about stuff like that, and that's just icing on the cake. And so I'm gonna sing a shanty now that it's a traditional work song used on board ships for hauling on the halyards, which were the ropes that helped raise the sails on a square rigger. And this song enumerates the various pleasures in a sailor's life in the 1800s. So if you've ever wondered what it was like, what were sailors really into back then, this song will give you an idea. Oh, the mate got drunk and he went below to take a swig from his bottle. Oh, so early in the morning, the sailor loves his bottle. Oh, a bottle of gin, a bottle of rum, a bottle of Irish whiskey. Oh, so early in the morning, the sailor loves his bottle. Oh, Turbaccio, turbaccio, the sailor loves his baccio. So early in the morning, the sailor loves his baccio. A packet of shag, a packet of twist, a plug of hard turbaccio. So early in the morning, the sailor loves his baccio. The victuals, oh, a sailor loves his victuals, oh, so early in the morning. A sailor loves his victuals, oh, a plate of scouse, the Sunday duff, a pannikin of burgoo, oh, so early in the morning. A sailor loves the victuals, oh. The lasses, oh, the maidens, oh, the sailor loves the Judies, oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves the Judies, oh, a lass from the pool, a gal from the Tyne, the gals across the water, oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves the Judies, oh. A bully rough house, the sailor loves a rough house, oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves a rough house, oh, a treading me coat and all hands in a jolly good rough and tumble, oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves a rough house, oh. A sing-song, oh, the sailor loves a sing-song, oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves a sing-song, oh, a drinking song, a song of love, a ditty of seas and shipmates, oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves a sing-song, oh. So now you know what they like. So if you have any sailors in your family or in your sphere, get them a present. One of those things.
Excellent. I think I could use one now. Bowding, Maine, what have you got?
Stuff. Go ahead.
We've got a song by Jack Forbes. It won a contest, I believe, and we've brought it into our repertoire. We like it.
What's it called, Dean?
It's called Rolling Up, Rolling Down. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. When I first saw a TU rolling up, rolling down, I wondered where they stowed the crew to go rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. Cargo comes in TUs rolling up, rolling down, a 20-foot box, boys, filled with booze to go rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. There's a Tilbury girl called Kettle Jane, rolling up, rolling down. First on the boil, then off again she goes rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. She's got a mate called Teapot and rolling up, rolling down. She gets well brewed, she likes a man, she goes rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. Those Tilbury girls go round in pairs, rolling up, rolling down. You'll never catch them unawares to go rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river. I've lost the words to this verse. Rolling up, rolling down. Sometimes you forget it couldn't get worse. Rolling down the river. Rolling up, rolling down, we all get drunk in Tilbury Town. 24 hours to turn around to go along with a crew can see her through.
Rolling up, rolling down.
To hell with the cargo and the TEUs.
Let's go down the river. Rolling up, rolling down.
We all get drunk until they tell 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river.
Rolling up,
Rolling down, we all get drunk until they tell 24 hours to turn around to go rolling down the river.
Wonderful. I do love that song. So, Jerry, back to you.
Well, so what Dean just demonstrated was a very, very traditional techniques. Shantymen had often to make verses up as they went along because the song wasn't over until the job was done. And if you had a certain number of verses in your head as the shantyman and you ran out before the yard was fully hoisted, then you had to come up with something, and making stuff up was great. So excellent job there, Dean. And so authentic. I am going to I'm going to take you all on a trip along the coast of Maine right now. I think Jeff mentioned that I'm a native of the state of Maine, and I love my native state, and I know a lot of obscure facts about my native home because for a while, a long time ago, I was a writer for the Maine Public Broadcasting quiz show called So You Think You Know Maine. And it was a trivia show, and so I learned a lot of random facts. And I actually did something with that knowledge. I wrote a song about the bays of Maine. There's a whole lot of them, as you'll learn. I suppose I could eventually fit them into a song, but since we don't have an hour for all of it, I'm just going to take you on a trip to a few of the bays of Maine. Oh, the state of Maine has 60 bays, roll along, oh coast along, which put the sailor in a daze in all the bays of Maine. If you sail on Casco Bay, roll along, oh coast along, you'll see the plastic yachts at play in all the bays of Maine. Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine, there's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine. Stop a while in old Maquoit, roll along, oh coast along, where the mussels are adroit in all the bays of Maine. The quahog is the clamor's game, roll along, oh coast along, one bay bears that mollusk's name in all the bays of Maine. Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine, there's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine. The names of some I had to say, roll along, oh coast along, such as Narraguagus Bay in all the bays of Maine. There is a bay that's called Muscongus, roll along, oh coast along, it has a sloop which is eponymous in all the bays of Maine. Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine, there's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine. Sometimes ego's got in the way, roll along, oh coast along, there's Pinkham, Young, and Johnson Bay in all the bays of Maine. To some your compass points the way, roll along, oh coast along, there's Eastern, South, and Western Bay in all the bays of Maine. Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine, there's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine. Some of them seem far away, roll along, oh coast along, there's Egypt, Flanders, and Belfast Bay in all the bays of Maine. There is one bay called Pigeon Hill. Roll along, oh coast along. Does that mean that it's vertical in all the bays of Maine? Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine. There's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine. Oh, Pleasant Bay is very nice. Roll along, oh coast along. You'll probably want to visit twice in all the bays of Maine. Although it is a bit cliche, roll along, oh coast along. One of the best is Penobscot Bay in all the bays of Maine. Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine. There's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine. The names of some bays demarcate. Roll along, oh coast along. There's Little, Back, Flat, and Straight in all the bays of Maine. When you sail out of Cobscook Bay, roll along, oh coast along. Say goodbye to the USA in all the bays of Maine. Bays of Maine, oh bays of Maine. There's more damn bays than you can name, but we won't stop until we've dropped into all the bays of Maine.
Wonderful, Jerry.
Thank you. I think I got about 32 of them in there, so I'm only half.
Okay. So you have some work left to do? I love that song. Bounding Maine, back to you. We've got about a bit over 10 minutes left.
Oh, all right. So we'll just jump into this next song.
Yeah.
So we first heard this song done by Chris Locke and Ian Tumpling of Locked Up Together. And they do a version of One More Pull, and they use the lyrics that were written by Ian Woods. And it was such an amazing experience. As soon as they were done singing, we ran up and said, we want to do this song too. So I highly suggest you look them up and hear their version. Because of course, how could we compete with them? We decided to do the lyrics by Ken Stevens. So this is our version of One More Pull. Giant boomers, ocean rollers, living waves upon the sea. But for us boys, there's no future. It's not like it used to be. And it's one more pull, boys. That'll do.
Missing you guys. Really
Beautiful.
missing you.
We miss you so much. Not Ian, just you.
Yes. Yes, Chris Locke at least is here. Jerry, back to you.
Back to me. We got
Probably one more song from each of you.
5 minutes. All right.
You might get it a second.
This one is not a shanty in its form that I'm going to sing it. There is a form of this song that was used as a shanty, and this happened all the time back in the day. Sailors would take a shanty and turn it into a four-bitter, or what they called a forecastle song, and vice versa. But I love this traditional song because it has my ancestors in it. This is probably from the mid-1800s. And you'll hear a reference to a Russian Finn. Now, my mother's side of the family is from Finland, and at the time, Russia owned Finland, so that's why this Finn has that moniker. The other side of my family is represented in the skipper of this craft, which is a Maine-based ship called Downeaster. They were a very common type of cargo vessel, and so. Here's my family history for you. This is called the Campanero. I was flat broke on the shore in the town of Baltimore, and I fancied taking a trip to Rio Janeiro. So the Frenchmen give me a chance, and likewise a month's advance, and ship me on board of that bark, the Campanero. Oh, that night I went on board, and my head was whiskey sore. The mate says, in your bunk you'll find a squarrow. But the squarrow, it was small, and the Cockney drank it all on board of that handy bark, the Campanero. We were ready to sail away from the mooring where she lay. The sails were setting, the wind was blowing fair, oh. But the captain, he was drunk, and he couldn't get out of his bunk on board of that handy bark, the Campanero. Well, now the wind come down the bay and blew all of our sails away, and each of them flaming rags we had to repair, oh. So I lost my watch below and was sent to the Pope to sew on board of that handy bark, the Campanero. Well, now the mate, he was a big bluff, and he tried to handle us rough. I says, is it me you think you're trying to scare, oh? But a great big Russian Finn taught a couple of things to him on board of that handy bark, the Campanero. After 40 days or more, we reached Brasilia shore, and the man at the top, he shouted, mates, we're there, oh. Well, the wind was blowing free, so straight ahead went we on board of that handy bark, the Campanero. Now the mate, he went ashore, and he never come back no more. The captain sent ashore his Banchilero. What with the mate, the skipper, the pumps, I was nearly off of my chump on board of that handy bark, the Campanero. Well, now my voyage is o'er, and I'm back in Baltimore. Of them flaming old Downeasters I'll beware, oh. And if I return to sea, no more Yankee ships for me, for they might be like that bark, the Campanero.
Excellent. Wonderful, Jerry.
Thank you.
Bounding Maine. Last song, and then we'll have a few announcements.
All right. You got it.
So we're going to do a song about a terrible storm in the Caribbean, and the young man, the Jolly Boys, that used to collect the sea sponge up in the nets during the storm. It's called Blow Liza Blow, and sometimes when we do this, it rains. So if it rains wherever you're at, that we have nothing to do with it. Like most of the time we do this song, it rains.
It's scary but true. It's possible that Gina weighs the same as a duck.
Blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza, Blow, Liza, blow, Liza, blow. Blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza, blow. Blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza, blow. Blow, Liza, blow, 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 Liza, blow. Blow, Liza, blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza, blow. This is the winter, every spring and summer we need another jolly boy to lead this cable over. Blow, Liza, blow,
I'm trying to
blow,
love you, Liza,
blow,
tell you true.
blow,
I'm gonna love you,
blow, Liza, blow, blow, Liza,
call you Liza,
blow,
free hands, free mates, one jolly man come back alive.
blow, Liza, blow. This is the winter, every spring and summer we need another jolly boy to lead this cable over. Blow, Liza, blow.
Sometimes people in the land just trouble in mind. Windy was bad and cold is good. Blow, Liza, blow.
Blow, Liza,
So was working to land to him. Before the highwind strikes. Blow, Liza, blow.
blow, Liza, blow.
Up sails, try to run around. One of them go right over. Blow, Liza, blow.
This is the winter, every spring and summer we need another jolly boy to lead this cable over. Blow, Liza, blow.
I got time, I better dance these girls in town. People in town just trouble in mind. Blow, Liza, blow.
Blow, Liza, blow.
I got time, now alright. People know about turn the yard up to pour. Blow, Liza, blow.
Blow, Liza,
Now the men call it. Who made it in here? All them guys who come back here. Blow, Liza, blow.
This is the winter, every spring and summer we need another jolly boy to lead this cable over. Blow, Liza, blow.
No more today, telling the tale that didn't see I just come back here. Blow, Liza, blow.
Blow, Liza, blow.
We got time, people swallowed up on the ocean. I could hear some people crying. Blow, Liza, blow.
Blow, Liza, blow.
Tell me that boys were young to die. That's the way it is, woman crying. Blow, Liza, blow.
This is the winter, every spring and summer we need another jolly boy to lead this cable over. This is the winter, commence the spring and summer. Now we need another jolly boy to lead this cable over. Blow, Liza, blow.
That's
Blow,
all,
Liza,
that's a wonderful song. Blow, Liza, blow, Liza, blow, Liza, blow.
Blow, Liza, blow.
Oh, that storm gonna make the man alone. And that storm will blow today. Blow, Liza, blow.
Excellent. Thank you, Bounding Maine. Thank you, Jerry.